Welcome into the next episode of the long-standing series on the channel where we look at old rarity lists that price charting has published and we see just how much money you would have made or lost had you purchased these games at the listed prices. Today's article is from Monday, November 17th, 2008. A true relic of an article. 15 rare GameCube games, the most expensive GameCube games. Original article published by Price Charting. And I just got to tell you guys right off the bat here, it says 15 rare GameCube games, but big price charting is lying to you. This article is actually only a top 12. The list goes in order from lowest factory sealed price to highest factory sealed price at the time. At the end of the video, we swap over to the spreadsheet and we see just how much these prices have changed in the last almost 15 years. Let's get into it. We're gonna start down here in the honorable mentions list because there are some really interesting ones here, including Gotcha Force, which these days you guys probably know is an absolute GameCube grail. They have it priced at $18 for a used copy. They also have Spirits and Spells down here, used price at $10. Spirits and Spells being a game that took a long time before it became like a rare collectible GameCube game. Prior to that, you had to be very deep in the GameCube library to even know what a spirit or spell was. A few more other expensive GameCube games they have listed here, including Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, used price $41. Pikmin 2 was actually pretty pricey back then as well, $38. And of course, who doesn't love Disney Sports Basketball, another one of today's most expensive GameCube games, being quoted at $25 for a used copy in 2008. Were any of you guys watching collecting in 2008? When did you get into GameCube collecting? Also, what do you think is going to be the top of this list? Let me know in the comments. At number 12, we have Star Wars Jedi Outcast Jedi Knight 2, factory sealed price at $100, used price at $25. This is one of those Star Wars games that I know is super popular. I've only ever heard good things about it, but I've never played any of the Jedi Outcast Star Wars games myself. I actually even have a copy of this game hanging out in my office here because I ended up with 2 of them. And I have the original receipt here from the EB Games I purchased it from in 2011. I paid a whopping $1.79 for this copy, and I even saved 20 cents with my EB Edge card. What an absolute snag on a GameCube grail. At number 11, we have a very popular Atlas title here in Cubivore. Factory sealed price at $100, used price at $30. Man, would that be nice to be able to grab a used copy of Cubivore for $30. Cubivore is another game where I've never had the chance to actually sit down and play it, but I've always been super curious about it. I mean, look at the art on the game. How could you not at least be curious as to what the hell is going on here? Of course, it's an Atlas game, which means limited production, but I think I remember hearing that it was reprinted at some time. There were some factory sealed copies that maybe it was a GameQuest Direct reprint. Someone fact check me on that. I feel like had that reprint not happened, this would probably be the most expensive GameCube game. Either way, number 11 is Cubivore. At number 10, we have everyone's favorite, most expensive GameCube game that isn't actually a game. We have Pokemon Box. Factory sealed price at $110. Used price at $45. Pokemon Box, of course, isn't a game. It's just a storage thing that lets you take Pokemon from the Game Boy Advance Pokemon games and put them into the... I actually don't even know what the true purpose of this is other than just being a storage box. In the US, it was only sold at the Nintendo World Store, which meant a limited release and a limited audience who even want this thing. You add in this big cardboard big box and you have the perfect GameCube collectible. I am excited to see the percentage gain on this one. At number 9, we actually have Ikaruga. Factory sealed price at $140, used price at $34. Ikaruga is a shooter originally used for the arcade and Dreamcast. In general, the shooter genre doesn't sell very well, and Ikaruga was no exception. The game is ranked as the second best 2D shooter by Screw Attack and the third greatest shooter by IGN, which is actually insane praise, but I can't believe the new price is being quoted at $140 in 2008. I don't even think factory sealed copies are that much more than $140 right now. Maybe 200 US, 250-ish US and you'll get one? Wow. At number 8, we have Metal Gear Solid The Twin Snakes. Factory sealed price $140 again. Used price $40 on this one. Twin Snakes, of course, being a remake of the original Metal Gear Solid for PS1. Honestly, it's just really cool that this game is even on the GameCube. Again, though, I'm just baffled that this was already $100 140 factory sealed, and even used at 40 seems very expensive for the Twin Snakes given what year it was. Remember, this was 2008, so like you might be thinking in your head, oh, every GameCube game was free, every GameCube game was so cheap, but like GameCube collecting was already kind of trendy. I'm surprised by how high some of these are already. At number 7, we have Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Factory sealed price $150, used price $31. I cannot believe how expensive this game is on GameCube now. I hadn't kept up with the price on this one in a little while. I don't collect GameCube as much as I used to. At one point in time, I was going for a complete GameCube set, but Code Veronica X, now that I see the price today, I guess it makes perfect sense that it's already on this list in 2008. Code Veronica and Resident Evil 2 received limited production runs after the GameCube's poor sales. After Resident Evil 4 released on the GameCube, prices spiked for all 4 Resident Evil games, but only Code Veronica's price remained high enough to make this list. Which even today, it's not cheap to get any of the Resident Evil games on GameCube, but Code Veronica X is just on a level of its own. At number 6, we have Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2, the base version of the game. Factory sealed price at $150, used price at $42. Now maybe I'm wrong on this, but as far as I was concerned, this was one of the only GameCube games that like really advertised the online aspect of it. Sega released this game as the marquee title for the GameCube's online service. The service never caught on, and Phantasy Star Online sales suffered. Sega shut down their servers in 2007, but you can still play the game solo or with 4-player split screen. I did own a GameCube growing up. I did not play a single GameCube game online. Online gaming wasn't even on my radar yet. So this game always stood out for that reason, where it was like, whoa, Phantasy Star Online, what does that even mean? I have had the chance to sit down and play this one very briefly. It seems like it would have been a lot of fun if I owned it when I was growing up. At number 5, we have a pretty funny one here. Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix Bundle. Factory sealed price $160, used price $44. And when they're saying bundle here, they mean the game plus the dance pad. This is one that I do remember chasing after because it was on these early rarity lists, so I was like, oh my god, Mario DDR is like this rare collectible GameCube grail. So I made sure to go out of my way to find a really nice complete copy with the dance mat, and now in 2022, no one really cares about Mario DDR. But I will say, I did actually set this up and play it back when I obtained it, and I played this game for hours, multiple days. I returned to it. I'm a fan of rhythm games. I played Guitar Hero a ton. I do like DDR. This Mario game was addicting to play. The article says that Nintendo released the game in limited quantities for the 2005 Christmas season, and it sold out quickly. In 2006, it did get a restock, but it was quietly discontinued after that. A really cool game and a flashback to when Dance Dance Revolution was relevant enough to get Mario integrated with it. At number 4, we have one that I think is quite surprising to see on this list, especially this high. Beyond Good and Evil. Factory sealed price at $198, used price at $22. Beyond Good and Evil was released by Ubisoft in 2003 on every console. It was reviewed well, but sold poorly on all systems. In May 2008, Ubisoft leaked a teaser trailer for Beyond Good and Evil 2, which sparked more interest in the original and increased prices. So this article is published in 2008. Maybe these quotes are just seeing the effects of this teaser trailer and nothing else? Like, I know Beyond Good and Evil isn't a super common game or anything to find on GameCube, but seeing the factory sealed price quoted at almost $200, it honestly just feels wrong. I've been collecting since about 2008, 2009, and I don't remember Beyond Good and Evil ever being one of the top GameCube games like this article insinuates. At number 3, let's go. We have Digimon Rumble Arena 2, factory sealed price at $200, used price at $30. I talked about this game already in the PlayStation 2 list that we did. Digimon Rumble Arena 2 is not a fun game to play, but since it's Digimon, I have a lot of fun collecting it. My biggest regret with this game is like sometime in probably 2013, maybe 2014, some guy was selling a factory sealed copy of this for below the market price at the time. I think he wanted maybe $140, $150, and I went to his house and I looked at it and it had a little bit of wear and tear on it, so I didn't buy it. Back then, I was so picky about condition that I would just turn down good deals, basically. And to this day, I do not own a factory sealed copy, and now it costs so much that I don't know if I will ever own a factory sealed copy. And that is my story about Digimon Rumble Arena 2. Coming in at number 2, we once again have Phantasy Star Online episodes 1 and 2, but this one is the Plus version with the beautiful blue case. That took me so long to be able to identify the Plus version versus the regular version. Seriously, that is something that when I was out game hunting in my early years, I could never remember what the Plus version looked like versus the regular version, and that's because you never really see the Plus version in real life. It's actually a pretty uncommon GameCube game, dare I say a rare GameCube game. The game sold poorly because it was an online game released after everyone realized the GameCube's online sucked. How can you expect the game to sell well? What is pretty crazy to me though is the used price on this game was $58. That's already basically MSRP for this game in used condition. That makes me think this game was just hard to find and collectible from the day it released. And finally, at the number 1 slot, we have a shout out to every single Patreon who helps support the channel, as well as the YouTube members. I can't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button. It really helps the video reach more people. Thank you all for watching. And now, without further ado, at the number 1 slot, we have NCAA College Basketball 2K3. Factory sealed price at a monstrous $400 and the used price at $37. If there's anyone out there who is not familiar with Jay Williams' beautiful face at this time, because you have to know exactly what NCAA 2K3 looks like when you're out hunting at game stores, it's a college basketball game that Sega helped make rare when they canceled all 2K series games on the GameCube and stopped this game in the middle of its production. One of those beautiful stories that we all love as video game collectors of the random sports game that becomes a rare grail. It's a little bit like stadium events, but also not at all. I do just want to emphasize here this $400 quote in 2008. In 2008 video game collecting, $400 would buy you basically anything. Like, this game was seriously being treated as a tippy top grail if this price is correct. Like, obviously today this game is still very expensive. How expensive, might you ask? Let's swap over to the spreadsheet and we'll see just how much the prices have changed on these games we just looked at. So this is the spreadsheet I have created. All pricing data in here is taken from the article, and then I'm just using price charting averages for the 2022 prices. Starting off on the factory sealed side of things, we only have one game that actually went down in value, which is Beyond Good and Evil, which actually lost $38 of value, or a minus 19%, which, like I said, the quote at 198 just seemed wrong, so I'm not entirely surprised to see that. Otherwise, it is a sea of green for factory sealed GameCube games. The biggest of which, of course, is the Pokemon box, big box version, which $110 in 2008. It is now averaging $3,700 on PriceCharts, or a 3,326% increase. Across all of the videos we've done so far, that is the biggest increase we've seen. That is just nuts. Second biggest gainer goes to Cubivore, which is now at $542, or a 542% increase. The other really big one on this list is Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, which went up 232%, or $325. And then we have a bunch of games that didn't even double in price since 2008. Games like Digimon Rumble Arena 2, Phantasy Star Online Plus, Ikaruga is only up 32%. Star Wars Jedi Outcast is barely any more expensive today than it was being quoted in 2008. That is pretty surprising to me. And to answer the question, if you bought every game in 2008, it would have cost you $2,048. In 2022, you would have roughly $7,612, or a $5,564 increase for 271% gains. One thing I do want to show though, if we remove Pokemon Box from the equation, the number goes down to below 100% gains from 2008 to 2022 on the 12 games shown on that original article. You'd still be up $1,900, but in 14 years to not even double your money, that's honestly terrible. Over on the used side of things, it is much of the same, but at the bottom here, we do see one more game that has lost value, which is Star Wars Jedi Outcast. Used to be $25 on average, now it's only $19.66. Jedi Outcast, very cheap now on GameCube. GameCube. That's kind of surprising. Otherwise, for the used games, we have some huge gainers here, including, once again, Pokemon Box, the big box, which for a used copy of the game is up 5,798%. A new series record for percent gain. I don't know if any game is going to beat that percent rise. The used copy of Cubivore also went up $505 or 1,683%. Another absolute massive one. Resident Evil Code Veronica X is also up 447%. Digimon Rumble Arena 2 also went up $165 or 550%. And NCAA Basketball 2K3 as a CIB game went up 537%. But as a factory sealed game, it didn't even double from its 2008 quote of $400. Only averaging $717 right now, which obviously a very high price for a factory sealed GameCube game, but relative to other games, it didn't really maintain its grail status on the GameCube. For the used games, had you bought them all in 2008, it would have cost you only $438. In 2022, those same games are worth $4,421 for a gain of almost $4,000 and a percent change of 909%, or 10 times your money. Of course, a lot of that once again comes from Pokemon Box, but even if we remove that on the used side of things, you're still looking at a 350% gain or $1,375. Complete in Box GameCube did really well based on the 2008 quotes. Hopefully you found this interesting. Hit the like button to really help out the channel. Subscribe if you want to see more of this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.